Hello, so this is case number 172400643, history of pemphigus, and I wanted to discuss the SRT analysis. So, Dr. Carlson here, and wanted to at least touch on SRT very quickly again. Stress resistance testing, our first analysis. Resistance is like a wire circuit. The more resistance, the more heat is generated. More heat, more inflammation. Down here, the analogy to the roadway is that if we keep it between the lines, we don't have any problem. That's equal to health and balance. But sometimes under acute stress, it's analogous to the car going off the road and just hitting the bumper strip. So the rumble strip, if you will. And that's a caution that says, okay, I've got a 50-50 chance to make the correction to go back on the road, or 50% risk that I could go down into the ditch and get stuck. Now, getting stuck is initially dis-ease going into the ditch, and disease is getting stuck, where the body is in a chronic state of inflammation or showing symptoms. So up here, the body is equal to genetics, environment is equal to genetic expression. So the environment creates the genetic expression, which in this case is pemphigus. So if we come over to 5-element theory here, in terms of how the body's set up, we've got heart, we've got stomach for digestion, we've got lung for respiratory, kidney as its relationship to urine. It also has a relationship to skeleton. Stomach has a relationship to muscle. The liver has a relationship to tendon and ligaments. And the heart mainly for circulation. So if we look at the SRT analysis, it shows appendicular skeleton. So down here in relationship to kidney, it starts off, because it's mostly chronic, we're in a state of chronic dis-ease. It probably started as something that was more inherited, because we're still a fairly young dog at 3 years old. Is that in Chinese medicine, it's called Jing deficiency. So it starts off as a skeletal issue. And second of all, there's a protein issue as it relates to muscle and the immune system. In this case, with pemphigus, this is an autoimmune disease. So protein was probably the biggest takeaway, because protein is where the immune system gets its energy, or muscle gets its energy. The muscle is, as it moves, is pushing the lymphatics, which is a large percentage of the immune system. And so if we start off with a skeletal issue and a protein problem, we're setting the body up for inflammation from the immune system. So our genetic expression is that anything in the environment could set this off. In this case, we saw foodborne molds as a potential trigger, and then also chemicals, so environmental chemicals. We can actually go into the file and see what kind of chemicals we're talking about specifically, but for our discussion today, it's really just about what was the main takeaway in these top two chronics, the appendicular skeleton and protein, were the biggest underlying reason to start off the pemphigus problem. So our goal with the SRT is that we give the drops, the calibrated hemp oil, 5 drops a day for 3 weeks, up to 3 months. Allow the body to make its correction, get back on the road to health. And in the short term of it, if there's other symptoms, if we have a flare of pemphigus, we can use conventional therapy to slow it down, but the goal is to reduce the dependency on medication, but also increase the potential to make a recovery in the body's healing itself. So even a very chronic autoimmune disease, once we get to the root of it and we're making the corrections, the potential upside of that is very, very good, that we're going to see less flares, there's going to be less need for medication. and we have a sustainable longevity, which is most important. So review the SRT, certainly review the video, let's formulate some questions, and then we can touch base again, either video conference or we can do another YouTube video like this. Thanks so much.